Good morning, Dr. Devi Singh, my own guru, Dwarikanath ji, and all distinguished friends. This is a topic on architecting excellence in curriculum. I think this is something that you can start from somewhere and go a long way. Let me start with the basic premise, and that is MBA that we all know of. What is it that we expect out of this program? And my take on this is that we academics want to give them, broad-based knowledge, because to me, and I'm sure this is true for all of us, management is still a derived discipline. It derives from or draws from various other disciplines. So we think that someone who goes through a 2-year MBA program must know a bit of everything. And at the end of the day, one should be good in terms of domain knowledge. That is the cognition part of it. One should develop skills that are, key skills today. Deal with people, communicate effectively, and also have that leadership, skills and the profile or the capacity to lead in the end. Industry expects a ready-made product who's not only a functional specialist, but is also a great communicator, good team person, and you name it, and they want out of an MBA. So to me, I look at this as a, car wash syndrome, that you get the car into a car wash, and then after half hour, it comes out as nice and clean, shining, looks like new, and ready to go again. And I think that's where the problem is. Too many people expect too many things out of an MBA program, and therefore we in business schools, this whole issue in terms of what we teach, how we teach it, why we teach so much, do we give them enough time to learn on their own, the experiential learning that Dwarikaji was talking about, the depth versus the breadth. You do some 30 plus, or there was a time when some schools would do 35 to 40 courses in 2 years, and 30 hours, and one after the other, bang. And you think that they have learned finance, they have learned marketing, they also know operations research and operations management, and they're supposed to know all of it. Give me a break, it doesn't happen that way, because, and then this whole misconception that at the end of the day, we are producing experts in finance, we are producing experts in marketing. So even though guy might be doing 10 courses or 8 courses in marketing, but still there was only one course that he picked up or she picked up in sales and distribution. So at best, it is a general management program. We think we are producing specialization, we are giving specializations. Some people do single specialization, some do double specialization. And again, this whole issue in terms of how much on content, in terms of cognition and the knowledge part of it, how much focus on the context, because Management has to be looked at in terms of context, it's global, domestic, economic, social, political, technology, and all of that. And how much we should focus on skills. Global experiences, leadership experiences, we all claim we have that, but how much of it and how well is done, we all know that. The focus is that all management problems can be simulated and also assimilated, analyzed and assimilated in the classroom setting. And therefore, rigor in terms of analysis, using data, and using concepts, for that analysis is whether we look at through in terms of pedagogy, whether the cases or the lectures, we think that's the way management education is to be delivered. Various schools use various methods, but how much is in terms of cross-discipline, intersection, that kind of approach that we use in terms of synthesis? I think we need to answer that. Very little we do. I'm sure some of us do it, so I won't dismiss it. In terms of critical thinking and writing skills, and because we think it's important. And I said it's a derived discipline. You cannot do everything, but the approach in Indian business school says that we try to do as much as we can, because who knows, unless you have a double specialization or unless you have done courses, in leadership, strategic management, as well as in marketing and finance, and maybe some course in HR, you can play around the, package and show 5 courses, and look, I'm good at strategic management for consulting kind of profiles, but I'm also good at marketing because I've done 5 or 6 courses here, so I know marketing, pretty well, and I can also, tweak. If I've done a couple of courses in economics and finance and accounting, I'm also good for a finance job. So at the end of the day, let's accept that we are producing, at best, the journalists. If that is the case, then do we really have what we call a positioning statement for our program? Do we know what is that we want to achieve out of our program? Various schools have attempted globally to do that. Harvard does it in one way. I in fact, had a PowerPoint presentation, but obviously, I decided, and I often do that. Dr. Devi Singh was saying that it corrupts you absolutely, and I have, had the discretion of not using this, and I hope I'm not corrupted as yet, So on that, so the point is, like Harvard, let me say, Yale looks at its curriculum. They spent 3 years in, doing a new curriculum, and they started looking at what was wrong with the earlier, the way they were offering the program. And now they say that let's look at the program where you do the core, the focus is that you look at learn to spot the microscopic yet relevant details, look at the fundamentals, the business fundamentals, and then use it, go on, develop your personalized kind of, the interest, and, pursue that, and a lot of opportunities for global experiences, etc. Harvard has its own approach. There's one school which follows, and that is this program at the USC Marshall School of Management, which has combined what we do at Flame. We think that management, like the organizations, do not operate in a vacuum. The context is important, be it economic, political, social context, or the technological context. And in the end, you are operating in a global setting. So why don't we prepare graduates with a broad understanding of how organizations operate? Bring in the business fundamentals, give them courses in the areas of sociology, art and culture, heritage, maybe a course on appreciation of music, some core courses on critical thinking and writing, and then look at business situations more in terms of interdisciplinary, intersection across the domain kind of an approach. Because especially in our undergrad program, what we do is that first year, we just make them do what we call courses in 5 universes, be it social sciences, be it physical sciences, be it humanities, it could be art and culture, then courses on ethics and leadership, courses on critical thinking, courses on philosophy, and all of that. And then you do a major in business and finance, but you can also do a minor in psychology or a minor in economics. And in your honors year, you can take, so what we are trying to do is that we are trying to create pathways. The core and in the center, the soul is the liberal education, but on that, we are building pathways for you to get into a serious, area of entrepreneurship, business, finance, economics, design, computer science. But computer science and design, I'm leaving out of the business, curriculum. The idea is that at the end of the day, if you want to get into because most of our students still get into a management trainee job, and corporations do spend a couple of years training them. And therefore, if you can provide them the basic understanding in terms of the business fundamentals, give them opportunities to build their, I won't use the word expertise, but build the domain knowledge in some of the areas that I talked about. It could be finance, it could be marketing, or it could be HR. And then give them opportunity through experiential learning, including what we do at Discover India program, or a community level internship, or a corporate internship. All 3 internships are part of the program. Then we think at the end of the day, one is somewhat ready to get into profiles where you have the basic knowledge to build further on. You have the basic tools and concepts, but you have a broad understanding in terms of how organizations operate, how the demographics have impact in terms of through a course on anthropology, have impact on the consumer behavior and the market dynamics. Perhaps your understanding of some of those issues will be better. So the problem I have with MBA programs, and I'm so happy that at this stage I made a transition to get into something that I knew nothing about, And it's so fascinating and so much of learning, because I always felt, even in the IM system, and I made this statement, maybe it was a great decision to create IMs in the 60s, which are standalone management institutions, but I don't think it's such a great idea in today's context. Because if you look at some of the best schools globally are part of the larger university system. They draw so much from each other. Every core program, if you look at every program globally, especially the undergrad and also the graduate program, 20 to 30% courses are taken from outside your own faculty. Because life, as I said, is not about pure finance or pure marketing. It's at the end of the day dealing with people, looking at cultural sensitivities and the issues. And I think our management education is too narrow. Our emphasis is teaching too much in the classroom, very little opportunity, because we do, and I read a note Harvansji sent the other day, that a new AICT, definition, I think an MBA program, you have to do some 2,000 hours or something. No, 1,000 is earlier, but I think there's some new guidelines have come that which are saying that 500 hours or something in a semester. So I think Harvans has sent a note, EPSI, that you're sending a note that's not the right thing. Am I right, sir? So, I mean, what are we talking about? Maximum that you do in an MBA program in the West is 60 credits. 60 credits is a credit, 15 hours. 60 credits, and a lot of that is a work outside the classroom, tutorials, etc. So, at best, 1 year you do less than 390 hours or 400 hours in classroom. So maximum is 800 hours. We are already 1,000 hours is a benchmark, and a lot of us are doing 1,100, 1,200 hours. So everything in the classroom, too many courses, very little depth. At the end of the day, we think we are teaching and producing specialists, but we are not even helping them to do something which will help them to comprehend the situation and at least get a good hang or comprehension of the general management. So our education system, our management education is narrow. It needs to broad base. It needs to look at, intersections of various disciplines, because as I said in the beginning, management is a derived discipline. It draws from psychology, it draws from sociology, it draws from every other discipline. And therefore, unless we can give opportunities through various outside classroom, initiatives, global, opportunities to achieve all of that, I think, and industry has a role there to come, to collaborate and look at a curriculum. And more than the curriculum, it is the delivery and the learning objectives in terms of what you want your graduates to be. Your graduates certainly cannot be everything, but let's train them, because it's not a training program either. It's essentially an education program. So let's combine this whole, the content versus context versus skills, a balance, and where we focus and how we deliver, I think to me is more important than just the list of courses and what we teach. Thank you very much.